All right, and I'll just make sure we're good on Facebook. Okay. We are set. Okay, perfect.
All righty.
All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jamie Chavez. I'm the president and CEO for the Westminster Chamber of Commerce, and I'm delighted to be able to spend the last few days speaking with candidates for the upcoming election. Each candidate joining me has a direct impact on Westminster, whether at the county or state level. And so I'm pleased to introduce with me today Sam Bandimere, who's running for State Senate District 19. And since we only get 10 minutes with Sam, I'm going to let him dive right into his thoughts and plans. And so, Sam, please introduce yourself and tell our viewers why you are running.
Okay, well, thank you, Jamie, for this opportunity to speak to the members of the chamber and for the great job you do as for the Westminster businesses. As someone who started 3 companies and helped establish another 10 around the world, I really appreciate the role the chamber does in cultivating business success. My name is Sam Bandimere, and I'm running for State Senate District 19, which covers Arvada and part of Westminster. As a native, I grew up in Colorado where the American dream was alive. It is my desire and purpose to return those values for our future generations here in Colorado. I enlisted in the Navy at the age of 17 and served 2 tours in Vietnam, so I am proud to say that I am a veteran. I'm running to restore fiscal responsibility and limited government to Colorado, and specifically my priorities are to, first of all, repeal the state Colorado bag law. I want to reduce and control property taxes and eliminate state taxes masquerading as fees. I want to end sanctuary cities in Colorado and direct all state agencies to cooperate with ICE to detain and deport criminal illegal immigrants. I want to encourage the development and adoption of a net zero energy program to reduce carbon emissions and the current loads on our electrical grid. My home is a net zero home. I want to repeal laws and regulations that hinder the development of Colorado's natural gas and oil production. My website is samforcolorado.com, and it has details on all my policies there. So I welcome people to visit my website. Thank you.
Great. Well, I will jump in with a few questions for you. What do you believe is the most pressing issue or issues facing our community, and how do you plan to address them?
Well, let me address 2 priorities as a senator that I have. The first is saving you money, and the second is keeping you safe. I listened to the interview of my opponent and was disappointed not to hear more specifics on what she would do as a senator, other than she would collaborate with other senators. Now, collaboration is a fine thing, but it's a process, not a result, right? Let me give you an example. She voted for and helped pass a law to prevent Colorado state agencies from turning criminal illegal immigrants over to Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, to be deported. Her collaboration resulted in these criminals being released back into our communities to commit more crimes. Now, my idea of collaboration is to pass a law mandating that every level of our law enforcement collaborate with ICE to remove these criminals from our country permanently. And by the way, I spoke to Arvada's Democratic mayor at the police and fire charity event this weekend. And unlike my opponent, she supported all of my positions here. Now, let me give you, I can also give you some more specifics. Let me give you a specific on my priorities as a senator. I want to preserve the Taxpayers' Bill of Rights, TABOR. I want to lower taxes and make fees subject to TABOR, protect TABOR tax refunds, permanently reduce property taxes, to prevent businesses from being overtaxed. I want to keep cash bail for criminals. I want to end sanctuary cities. I want to coordinate state agencies with ICE to deport criminal illegal immigrants and mandate a 10-year no parole prison sentence if they return. I want to remove restrictions on our oil and gas. As I said earlier, I want to remove restrictions on our oil and gas drilling to lower prices and to energize Colorado's economy for all of our businesses. I should note that my opponent does not support any of these and has actively voted to block most of them.
All right, thank you for that. Okay, I'll go to the next question. How do you plan to engage with local businesses and chambers of commerce to foster economic growth?
Well, Jamie, I want to collaborate that. I want to collaborate in a way that produces a. I'm sorry, I'm getting things messed up in my brain here. Collaboration that produces a bad result is worse than no collaboration at all. My opponent and her progressive colleagues collaborated to produce results that has wreaked havoc on all of Colorado and especially our business owners. So yeah, I'm going to do collaboration, but we're going to do a collaboration that produces results that's positive for our businesses here in Colorado.
Okay, great, thank you. And what specific legislation, you've chatted a little bit about this already, but if there's anything in addition, what specific legislation do you plan to introduce or support that would benefit the district?
Well, let me give you specifics here on a few of them, but I think the one that I'm most passionate about right now is my net zero energy program. Now, a lot of people think that is contrary to my support for the oil and gas industry, and it's really not. But if we can push this a net zero energy program in Colorado, can you imagine if we made every home and business in Colorado a net zero on the heating and air conditioning of those structures? What that would do for our electrical grid system, what that would do for our carbon footprint. And a lot of people say, well, how are you going to pay for that? Well, you know, our government right now is spending trillions of dollars on green energy. And if we can redirect some of that to this green energy program that I have using ground source heat pumps to heat and air condition our businesses, you know, we can do that with no new taxes.
Great, thank you. And how will you work across party lines to achieve meaningful change in the state legislature?
Well, as I stated earlier, my opponent and her progressive colleagues have collaborated to produce a result that's wreaked havoc on all of Colorado and especially our business owners. I intend to work with my fellow senators and the House to produce legislation that is taking regulations off of our businesses' backs and lowering their taxes so that they can afford to operate here in Colorado.
Okay, great. And how will you ensure that the voices of local government and residents are heard at the state level?
Well, certainly I'm available and I want to hear from my constituents. I think I've run a campaign that's where we've been out knocking on doors. We've been out working with businesses. I've called on all the businesses in downtown Arvada, had positive results from all of them with my ideas in terms of lowering their taxes and getting regulations off their backs. As a matter of fact, I would say that all the business, other than one, there was one down there that kind of disagreed with me on a few things. But every one of them basically said, Sam, we're waiting for the November election to determine whether we stay in business or not. So it's critical. We've got to get these businesses supported with lower taxes and less regulations.
Great. Thank you so much. We're just about 10 minutes, but is there anything else that you would like for the viewers or the voters to know?
Well, sure. Well, I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak to the Westminster Chamber. And I want to thank I want your members to know that as a senator, I will have two goals, as I've stated before: saving you money and keeping you safe. And that includes keeping your businesses safe from shoplifting and vandalism by punishing criminals instead of releasing them back into our community. With hundreds of bills being submitted every session in the legislature, it's important to know the philosophy of your senator, and I've told you mine. But at nearly every opportunity, when given the chance as a sitting member of the state legislature, my opponent has voted to raise your taxes, keep your TABOR refunds, reward illegal immigrants, and harbor criminal illegal immigrants. They've increased the size of our government, removed parents' rights for their minor children, and further restricted our energy industry, which leads to higher costs for everyone. So if you like the path that Colorado is on, with higher taxes, higher prices, higher crime, and a bigger and more intrusive government, my opponent has promised more of the same. But if you're ready for change, I would appreciate your vote and your support. I am Sam Bandimere, and my website is samforcolorado.com.
Great. Thank you so much for your time today, and thanks for everybody who tuned in, and hope everybody has a really great rest of your week.
Yes. Thank you, Jamie.
Have a good one.